Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life. So when they say ignorance is bliss, that is a little bit true when it comes to how I got my fabric contract. So I thought I'd tell you guys about how I got my fabric contract, which is, like, when I think back about it, I mean, it just showed how naive I was, how I really did not know what I was doing. And, how at the end of the day, it probably helped that I was as ignorant as I was. So I didn't find this out until after I got my fabric contract, that the typical way people were getting fabric contracts is they were going to quilt market, okay? I didn't even know what quilt market was, okay? So people were going to quilt market and then showing their artwork to these manufacturers, getting appointments, and getting deals that way, okay? I was coming from scrapbooking. So I had gotten a scrapbooking contract. I had done pretty well, but it had been new for me. And I thought I would love to have a contract for fabric. That makes a ton of sense to me. So what I decided to do is I took some of my best scrapbooking designs and I kind of went through and figured out how they would work as a collection, which, by the way, was absolutely horrific and would make terrible fabric collections, because I didn't have a mentor and I didn't have someone telling me, hey, look at this the way I do in my design suite program. I would have killed for a program like that when I was first starting out. So, and I had a Ph.D. even, and I still could have used a program like that. So what I did was I had put together these spiral bound notebooks, okay? So these great big notebooks, and I put so many designs in them, so many. If I was a creative director and I saw these, I just don't even know if I would have even thumbed through it. They were so big. I made 20 of them. I had 20 of them printed. I had them all spiral bound, and I went to a website that I happened to know sold fabric, and I went down the manufacturer list. And I didn't know most of these companies because, once again, I was in scrapbooking. I wasn't in fabric. So I went down the list and I was like, oh, I think I've heard of them. Okay, I chose 20. I took those 20. I found their mailing addresses. I just searched and searched and searched online. I don't know that they all went to the right places, you guys. But I took them all, made little mailers, and mailed them out. Mailed out 20 of these, okay? I do not recommend this, you guys. So I got a few rejections. I even had some creative directors mail the spiral bound notebook right back at me, and they put a nice note on it. They were always so nice. Mail it back to me, okay? And then I got a bite, okay? And the bite was from an art director at Northcott, okay? So I was very excited. Northcott really was producing not my style of design. And so that's why they were interested in me. Not because I had produced a good collection, you guys, but because I had a look that they didn't have, okay? I think this is always a powerful lesson in how bringing a different style to the table or bringing something different can be in your favor, okay? Because if it's just more of the same, they'll just have their current designers do it. So I took a call with the creative director, who I still adore and love. And I then got tons and tons of feedback on putting together this collection, okay? And I will say the first collection, I would say, well, one of them did pretty well. The second one, not of the collection, but the second colorway did terrible. Did not do that well, okay? And so I was still figuring things out. I ended up doing 5 lines with Northcott before things changed there, and I moved on to who I'm with now, and I have been with for the last, 14 years, 13 years. It's been a long time. And many, many collections later, but I've been with Riley Blake since, and that was early on, they were really, really, really new. So that's how I did it, and I don't recommend it. So some of you might say, well, what would you recommend, Carina, for getting a fabric line? I would recommend email. And I would not email until I knew my collection was really, really good and really, really different than anything else out there. So often I see people who want to become designers and they submit their stuff and it's just not good enough. And then they get really frustrated and feel like they can never submit a collection again, which is not true. Sometimes for creative directors, it's just about timing. So feel free to submit again. They're always looking for new artwork, but make sure your artwork is good. Well, and you might say to me, well, Carina, how will I know if my artwork's good? Well, you got to get advice from someone who has done it before. That's usually how you do it. Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.